And it looks like we're live on Twitch. Awesome. Got my mobile notification. Let's see how the sound is doing. Sounds pretty good. I'm gonna turn that volume down again. Okay, so I clean my glasses before I begin. My chat window on the side is not loading in the dashboard, which is a little bit disconcerting. Let me try refreshing the dashboard again. Aha, there it is. It's back. Okay, I'm gonna pop that out. Put it over there on the side. Good morning, Everest. Welcome to the stream. I feel tired today, but I think that's because yesterday we had some fun business meetings to go to today. And today we have fun business meetings to look forward to. But it's all good. Something that was pretty awesome was that last night somebody sent me a message and said that they've decided to start getting into Rust and working with it because of these videos that I've been doing, the streams. So I'm super happy that like at least one person found Rust because of this, decided to try it out, and is now using it. All right. Yeah, no, that is super cool. So, what were we doing? I feel like this is the problem about an early morning stream. There's always like, I don't know what was going on last night. I can't remember anymore. I just woke up. CD. Okay, so if we just look at the README here, aha, okay, so currently at create like the project or create a little mini app. Given a list of integers, use a vector and return the mean, the average value, median when sorted, the value in the middle position, and mode, the value that occurs most often. A hash map will be helpful here of the list. I feel that, so given a list of integers, so does that mean like given a vector of integers? Or an array? So given a list of integers, use a vector and return a mean, or return a vector, or just return, okay. Return the mean, median, and when sorted, the value in the middle position, and mode, the value that occurs most often. Oh yeah, I could see like a hash map probably for the mode, the one that occurs the most often. So my guess is that this will be, I'll use probably a vector to store the list of integers, and probably just like hand it in a vector too, unless it's like adding over and over, like, oh, here's one, here's another. Okay, now calculate the average. And I believe is mean, I vaguely remember that mean is slightly different than average. It's like a little bit more precise than what we know of average. And median, middle position, but what if there's not an odd number? So there's two middles. I think that would be really interesting to sort of like, we're gonna have to look into the mathematical definitions of these to sort of like figure out how to do that. But to begin with, we will copy this, and let's actually create the project for it. The other thing is that we could make this as a library and pull it into the primary code, and that could be really interesting. Okay, so CD, we were in chapter 8. So we're going to cargo. What do we want to do in here? We want to cargo new. Do I want to create a library or does it even matter? I'm just going to create a new full project and then we'll figure that out. So this is going to be I'll call this list of numbers. All right, so we'll come into here and code. Okay, so we've got our really basics things. What we can do is we'll put in. All right, so let's multi-line that. Okay, so given this list of integers, so what this tells me is that here in main, I'm not going to do the same thing we did last time, which is ask the user in the command line to give the list of numbers, but rather we could just like create this list right here. So create a list of numbers. So we want to then like get the mean, right? So I'm almost thinking like an enum that wraps around vectors might be good. And then we could tell the enum to have these implementations, because I don't think we can do that with just vector. Like we can't add implementations to vector itself. So if we do that to enum, we can do implementations. Our other choice is a function that takes in a vector and returns an integer or a float, depending upon whether or not we want to use float math there. That might be an interesting way to do it. It sounds like there's multiple ways. So maybe for right now, let's start with just functions, and then we will. Yeah, we could start with functions, and then we'll move on to this potentially other ways to do it. Come on, there we go. So our first thing, let's just create our list of numbers. So let list equals. We can have a vector here, which would be something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is an odd number, so we can tell right now the average is going to be all of these added up divided by 5. That's going to be simple. And we can say like that's 3, 6, 10, 15 divided by 5. That should be 3, right? The median when sorted should be 3. The value in the middle position and the mode, the value that occurs the most often, is unfortunately not going to be any of these. So maybe to get this last one, well, we can change this list as we go on. So let's start with this first one, which is use a vector. If you want a thin wrapper to implement methods on, consider using a tuple struct. So struct vector. Okay, so create a structure that's only just a tuple. Interesting. So then it's just that one thing, really. Well, that's cool. I'm going to start by just doing these with functions, and then I want to refactor these into the different ways that we can do it data structure wise. So if we have this list, then what we can do is we could just start printing out essentially. So we could then say print line the average of the list is, and then we can have this called get mean, and I should call this the mean. So get mean, and we're going to pass it the list. Now, do I really want to pass it the list because that will give ownership to it? So I'm thinking maybe we can pass it and a reference to the list. And of course, it's telling us that this doesn't exist yet. You could also generate your numbers randomly using the rand crate. That is probably a very good idea to do. And I also heard that it just updated too. I think we will do that at the end once we verify that it's working correctly. So then it will be more interesting because we could have like really large, crazy arrays or vectors. Okay, so let's create a function here. So function get mean. You are going to take in our list of numbers, which is a vector of, is it Turbofish syntax? Where these are I guess they should be signed. We could do I32s. Oh yeah. And then you're going to return a, so the mean, it's probably going to have to be a float, right? So like a float 32. Now you're just yelling at me that I'm not actually returning the float. So what we want to do is loop through all these vectors and then add them up. So I think, is it just going to be as, oh, also, yeah, you don't seem to, you're getting in the reference to it, so that's fine. I wonder if I have to dereference it. So for, I think it was like the value, or I can call it the number. Maybe it's just for number in list.iter. I want to print line number. And well, it didn't yell at me about that. And then, well, maybe it does now. Then I want to just return like 33.0. Mismatch types, expected, struct, vector, vector. Okay, so yeah, I do want to pass in a array. Okay, so let's actually try running this and see if I get my loop. See if I remembered how to do for loops. So cargo run. Yep, I did indeed. Okay, so we're going through here, which now means that we want to have an accumulator going so that we can add like all of these up. So let mute our accumulator is going to begin at 0. Then for each of these numbers, I want to take the number and add it to accumulator. So accumulator plus equals number. And at the very end, I want to return the accumulator divided by, I think it's going to be list.leng, like that. Mismatch types, expected float 32, found I32. Oh, so you're, Oh, is it because it's taking in these I32s? So I might have to convert them to a float coming in. Because for example, if I just return an I32. Have you used Clippy before? I have not. Let me take a look at that. A bunch of lints to catch common mistakes and improve your REST code. Ooh. Um, okay, as soon as we get this function working, I want to take a look at that and see if we can install that. For right now, let's see. Right, okay. So what I really want to do is take these I32s and convert each of them right here to float. So I need to cast them. Where is my, okay, I just need to open up a new window. So we could look for Rust convert I32 to float 32, casting between types. Oh, this is the first edition, isn't it? I wonder if let's see. That sort of took away my search though. It didn't find out where I was going or bring me to the same place. I wonder if I can in these types. Data types. Is there casting, conversion? No. All right, let's go back and do this. Look at it again. It is, and maybe, you know what? Maybe the Rust documentation. So for Rust I32, maybe in here there is a method. And we're looking for something that would potentially like return another type. This is an unsigned. So returns the number of ones in a binary. Oh, that's not what I want. Leading zeros, trailing zeros. Rotate left, rotate right. A lot of interesting things here, but not what we want. So let's see, wrapping div. Or I wonder, maybe it's on the F32. Oh, this is something useful if I want to look things up quickly. Oh, Rust by example. Okay, so probably primitives or conversions. Wait, does that? Okay. The from trait allows you to define one trait, hence providing simple mechanism. So, okay, so there's value I32. So from item I32. Oh, no, this is, oh, is this, it's just a trait, right? Okay, so define how to create itself from another type, hence providing a very simple mechanism for converting between several types. There are numerous implementations of this trait within the standard library for conversion of primitive and common types. And casting, yes. Was this in here? And did I miss it? Rust provides no implicit type conversion between primitive types, but explicit type conversion can be provided using the as keyword. I vaguely remember seeing that before. and I forgot it. So what is it? Let integer equals decimal. So, okay, so it's an F32 as U8. So could I do that here where I say plus equals number as F32? Casting a reference to I32 as F32 is invalid. Cannot cast reference I32. Okay, so I need to dereference it first. Then I cannot add assign F32 to integer. So here I can do that. Okay, that seems to work. And then finally we have cannot divide F32 by usize. Which is the usize? So accumulator is an F32. List.length. Oh, list.length is a usize, isn't it? So can I do this as F32? All right, let's try this. So the mean of the list is 3. Okay, so we've got, I mean, we know that that's supposed to be correct. If I change this slightly and put like 2, so what would this be? 2 plus 2 is 4, 7, 11, 16. 16 divided by 5 is gonna be like 3 dot something. Okay, so it is converting here to an integer, my guess. Because it's I'm returning it as an F32, but it is not actually like, or maybe something else is going on. I was hoping to get the decimal points. Also, if I do like 2.1, does that change things? Oh, okay. So yeah, it expected all of these to be integers because I haven't set anything else up for it. Yeah, because I set these are integers. And it did tell us we're only taking in integers, so we don't need to worry about anything else. I think what do I need to do to actually print the appropriate value, like what it really is? So we're dividing this by this. I feel like, so this is a float. Length is, well, length is going to be an F32, which is, but that should still be like whatever number dot 0. And that should return in. If I add in more numbers, okay, now I get it. So 4.857143. I'm curious why I was not getting the exact same. Okay, I don't know what. Maybe I didn't save when I changed this to 2, but I thought I wasn't getting a decimal number, but I clearly am right here. So 3.2. So I think that this is working. And then the final thing before we go and check out the Clippy thing is I want to potentially like put this in a use the cargo crate for random. Do I want to do that now? Actually, no, because I want to be able to control the other ones to like predict what it's going to be, and the random generator is not going to allow me to do that. Okay, so given that, I am going to send these on up. And I'm gonna, what is this? We created a function method to get mean. Okay, so let's take a look at that thing you sent, Avarice. All right, so it's Clippy. All right, what happened to my, I lost it. There it is. Okay, so Rust Clippy. I love that. It's from Rust Lang Nursery. A bunch of lints to catch common mistakes and improve your Rust code. Okay, so usage, since this tool's for helping this. As a general rule, Clippy will only work with the latest Rust nightly for now. We can try it. Luckily, Rust Up is pretty easy to install that. So we'll see if it works for us. It'll be pretty awesome when tools like this aren't working only on nightlies, but are working on like the stable versions. Okay, installing Rust. So we have 1.27, and so this is going to be we had 1.26, which is brand new, just released, and now we have 1.27. Okay, so as a cargo subcommand, one way to use Clippy is by installing Clippy through cargo as a cargo subcommand. Cargo plus nightly, install Clippy. The plus nightly is not necessary if your default Rust app install is nightly. You can run Clippy by invoking cargo plus nightly Clippy. Okay. Run Clippy from the command line without installing it. Configuration. Yeah, I have both installed because Rust Up like keeps the old version there, and it's the default. So like when I reboot my computer, it'll be back to that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one, which requires like it will. I think that this means it will only run if nightly is the active one, right? So. Okay, so grabbing from the registry. That's a lot of crate set it's using with it. Okay, so what else do we have in here? So that's just usage. Configuration. Some lints can be configured in a toml file named clippy.toml or .clippy.toml. It contains basic variable equal value mapping. See the list of lints for more information. I don't think I necessarily want to configure it right now. It's more of like use it, see how it is, and then like as things annoy me or don't annoy me, I can maybe, you know, touch configure it later. Sometimes Rust C moves forward. Okay. You could use the Rust update script to update Rust C only if Clippy would also update correctly. Zoronek, welcome to the stream. Good morning. Still compiling. Now, is there a Visual Studio Code plugin to use this too? Rust Clippy. Let's see. So, Rust language integration, snippets, snippet highlighting, language highlighting, Rust. Yeah. Search crates. That might be interesting. Does not look like it has a Clippy. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a Clippy code thing in here. Oh, let's put you back. There we go. Oh wow. Okay. So while that's installing, we'll just continue on and work on the next thing here. So what we wanted to do now is the median when sorted, the value in the middle position. So I think there's a couple things to do here for that, which I mean, the first one is the simple one, right? We just say the median of the list is get median. I will pass a reference to the list. So function get median. I will take in a list, which is a reference to a vector of I32s. And we're going to return, this is just going to be an I32. You should use the one from Kalatalexi. It works good. Not for Clippy though. Oh, is that a oh, the Rust language integration? I will try that. Well, I can install that. I wonder if it will Oh, well, that was fast. Okay, so get median, installing into here. And we're going to return an I32. So the first thing we want to do is not make the assumption that this is in any kind of order, because this could be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I want to get the middle position, so this 3 right here. And so if it's length, the length would be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Divide that in half. We might be able to get the index from that. However, when it's an even, that might be really interesting because then there's 2 middle positions and they might not be the same. Okay, so the value in the middle position. So first thing is we need to sort it. So let's go take a look at vectors and see what methods there are available for us. Specifically, there might be Rust by example. Variable bindings, types. I was hoping there would be one thing on vectors here. Okay, so primitives, probably not. Also, I might just want to look at Rust vectors. What? No, you. Rust vectors. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Okay, the vec macro can be initialized. Are these methods on it? So anything that looks exactly, it looks like what we want. Okay, then there's methods from dref. I didn't see anything that looked like a sort here. To vec. No, there's contains. Partial equality. That sounds interesting. A lot of those. Struct vector methods. All right, let's take a look at this. Zoronic, you sent me this. Okay, so is this the same thing? Struct vector? Oh, it's struct vector, and you had it on sort, and I just lost it. Okay, public function sort takes reference to mutable self, sorts the slice. This sort is stable. It does not reorder equal elements. And big O of n log n, worst case. When applicable, unstable sorting is preferred because it is generally faster than stable sorting and it doesn't allocate auxiliary memory. The current algorithm is adaptive, iterative merge sort inspired by Tim sort. It allocates temporary storage half the size itself. For short slices and non-allocating insert and sort is used instead. Okay, so if I hand it this, I have this array, v.sort. Okay, assert not equals, right? Oh no, assert that equals this. It changed. You might want to use the unstable sort. Yeah, let's take a look at this too. This is just normal sort. This sort is stable, does not reorder equal elements, which might not be a problem for me. Sort unstable. Sorts the slice, but may not preserve the order of equal elements. Wait. Does not reorder equal elements. May not preserve the order of equal elements. Wait, that sounds okay. The sort is unstable, may reorder equal elements. That feels like they're contradicting themselves potentially. In place does not allocate. Does not allocate. And O, n log n, worst case. I like that. The current algorithm is based upon pattern defeating quicksort. So that's nice to use quicksort, which combines the fast average case. What is interesting is that the other one was what do they call it? Adaptive algorithm, which is sort of like, from what I understand, things like JavaScript are using adaptive algorithms where it sort of like figures out which algorithm to use and then does that. But we can also try sort unstable and see what happens. So let's do this. Here we're taking in our vector, and the first thing I want to do is sort unstable. Can I do this on it? It needs a reference to mute self. So I'm thinking, because I'm only getting a borrow of this, I don't think I can change it. So I wonder, can I copy it? So can I say, because it doesn't in place, right? Yeah, sort unstable. we pass it a reference to mutable. Oh, it's okay. It's doing it on itself. So if I just say list dot sort unstable, like that. Yeah, you're not yelling at me about that. So let's then print out the list now is, instead of copying, why not take a mutable reference? I could do that. Would I not? If I take a mutable reference, it will change the list up here, right? And what if I don't want to do that? What if I only want this one to do its own thing and separate? Yeah, I don't want it to change. I think there are potential reasons when I would want it to, but in that case, if I wanted to, I probably would want to be explicit about moving the list into the function, and then I'm going to be getting back a sorted list. If that makes sense. I think that would be a little bit more understandable to future programmers. But for this, I'm wondering, I want to now print line here. So print line, the original vector is, do I need, I actually don't remember if I need these, but I think I do. List. And print line, this is now a list. And let's just return list. Oh, is it like that, or is it .1? I can never remember. Right, so cannot borrow a mutable kind of list as mutable, so I need to copy it. So let's go find out what I can do. Is it just .copy? Oh, it's clone. Well, there's clone from slice. Copy from slice.